Elgoods Coolship.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. It is getting fucking cold out here, I tell you. Autumn is definitely on the way. It is near the end of September, nearly October. In fact, tomorrow is October. 1st of October tomorrow, is it? Yeah, it is. And I've decided that it's time to start getting in some winter beers. However, I have got a bit of a backlog to clear up in the fridge, and this is part of it. This is the Elgoods Coolship. Now, I've tried a couple of beers from this brewery. They're based in Cambridge in a place called Wisbeach. I really like what they've done so far. They did one called Warrior Ale, which was a really nice ale, really nice ruby ale. Absolutely gorgeous, award-winning ale. But for me, the jewel in their crown is the Elgoods Black Dog, which is a mild. I would go as far as to say it's the best mild I've tasted so far. Really nice indeed. And it had the perfect balance of flavour, but not too much flavour, because mild doesn't have a great deal of flavour. However, you need to get some flavour in there. Now, with mild, I'm going to go off a little bit of a tangent here, but mild, I have tried some that have been more or less tasteless. And it's not a very popular style of beer. It's really gone out of fashion for reasons of, well, during the 1970s, it was basically, that was the beer that would be watered down. All the slops would go back in and it ended up tasting like fucking shit. And people stopped drinking it, which I think is disgusting really, because it was just unscrupulous landlords that would do that, try and make a buck. And yeah, it wasn't a decent practice, if you know what I mean, and it basically killed the style. It's coming back now. There are a few brewers that are doing it, but as I say, it's very hit and miss, unfortunately. But Elgoods have got it spot on. If you ever get a chance to try their Black Dog, it's really good. But what I like about this brewery, they're quite traditional, but they've tried doing this. Now, this is a sour beer, and it's a sour beer very much in the style of what the Belgians do. And to get sour beer, you need to have what's known as spontaneous fermentation, sometimes called wild fermentation. And it's basically allowing the oxygen to get to the beer, and it's utilising, because there's bacteria in the air, and that will feed on the sugars, and it will give it a unique flavour. If you go to Belgium, they do make a big thing about certain regions having different types of wild fermentation or wild bacteria in the air, wild yeast, and they use that for brewing. And during the fermentation process, which takes quite a long time for sour beer, they allow that to feed on the sugars that are in the tank. But there is a very, how can I put it, a very slow uptake on sour beers in the UK. There isn't many brewers. In fact, I think Elgoods are one of the only brewers, apart from some of the craft brewers, but the traditional brewers, no one really touches it, because sour beer really is one of them marmite type beers. Now, I happen to love sour beer. Ever since I tried a Gers over in Belgium, I fell in love with the style. It was unique. I didn't know what to make of it. My first instinct was, this is disgusting. And then on the finish, I thought, this is absolutely gorgeous. It was that type of beer. And it's really confusing for the palate when you first try it. I'll never forget the first time a Belgian mate of mine said to me, try this, and I asked what it was, and he said it's a Gers. I'd never heard of it. He said, try some. And it really was. The first mouthful, I was on the verge of spitting it out, but decided to swallow it, and on the finish I thought, this is absolutely amazing stuff. But you have to get over that initial sourness. Once you get over that, believe me, you will like it. If you're a fan of beer, you'll like it. And I do drink quite a lot of sour beer. The Belgian Flemish Red Ale is one of my favourite styles, and that's a sour beer. The Gers that you get from Belgium, the Lambic, there's cherry Lambics, but your average Gers, you know, if it's done right and they don't put sugar into it and it's done properly, it can be really nice. But this stuff, I'm intrigued to try because I've never tried a British sour beer before. Now, this could be crap, it could be decent, I really don't know. But I like what Elgoods do, and this has been going for a while, and it's won a couple of CBER awards, which are quite prestigious awards. It won a silver not too long ago. So I have got reasonably high hopes for it. So without further ado, let's stop mucking about and let's investigate. Right, this is a 500ml bottle. It is 6%. It is an English sour beer. See, I like that. They've called it an English sour beer. They've not tried to copy a Belgian style. They've put their own unique twist on it. Now, if this doesn't taste like a Gers, then I'll be perfectly happy with that because they've called it an English style sour beer, which is what you should be doing, really. You shouldn't be trying to copy a Gers and then completely going off on a tangent. It's like what they do with Hellas's and stuff like that over here, British brewers, and they can't do it. But there you go. Anyway, what's it say on the side? Spontaneously fermented sour beer. Elgood's Coolship sour ale, brewed using traditional methods and original brewing equipment. Spontaneous fermentation is initiated on our unique double Coolships. A long period of fermentation and maturation in special tanks over oak chips enables naturally occurring wild yeasts to modify the flavour, creating a sharp, fruity flavour with hints of oak. A true sour ale in an English style. Brilliant. I like that. I like that they've called it an English, and it's their own twist on it. They're not trying to copy a Belgian style. This is all about it being British. Now, there's no brew sheet, so I can't tell you what's in here. But they do a mango sour as well. So they're sort of aping what they do in Belgium with the Lambic style. And the Belgians do put fruit in some of their Lambics, and it's quite nice. They do a framboise, which has got raspberries in it. They do creek beer, which should have morello cherries in it. And you can get certain other types of fruit style Lambics. Some of them are just, well, they call them Lambics, but they're just full up with fruit concentrate and sugar, and for me that sort of loses it. I'm really not interested in them type of beers, but I'm digressing again. Let's get this open and let's see what's going on. Now, this is going to be unique, but Lambic beers are not really about the hops, and not really about the malt. It's just plain black cap. Plain black cap. They're all about the yeast, a bit like Weiss beers. And you know, I'm just looking at this. This is quite funny because this reminds me of the Gers, the very first Gers that I had. Now, if you look at that head, that's going to dissipate. That's perfectly normal. If you saw that in a normal beer, alarm bells would ring. But, God, I can smell it from here. Jesus, that's perfectly normal for a Gers. A Belgian Gers would do that as well. It's something to do with the yeast, but you just don't get it. It's the same reason that you don't get a head on cider. But there you go. Look at that. It looks like murky brown water. Doesn't look very appetising at all. Oh, it smells sourdough. In fact, that is reminding me, this actually smells like sherry. Now, my mum used to drink sherry when she was alive, and that is the sort of smell you would get. Now, sherry's a wine, and you know my views on wine.
Men don't order wine, all right?
No! No, 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 no! No! No, 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 no! No! No fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way, no fucking way!
But it smells quite interesting. You do get some of them woody aromas that they're talking about, the oaky. There's like a smoke smoked oak wood style aroma coming from that as well. It's like apples. That's what I'm getting. It's like I wouldn't say like a cider, but it's very rich. And what's that other smell? I've recognised that smell. Oh, I can't think. It's definitely fruit though. Smells quite interesting. But what would it taste like? Let's find out. Bottoms up. Well, that's interesting. And it's done something to my nose. I don't know what. We'll dive in again. That's got a really dry finish. Now, when they talk about crisp finishes on beer, that's what I'm thinking of. It's a really strange type of flavour, and this is like no beer you will ever taste. It's very sharp, very tart, almost vinegar-esque. But if you can imagine a very strong West Country cider, it's tasting like that. And I'm not sure whether I like it or not. I could get some honey. That's the type of flavour I'm thinking of. There's definite, yeah, big honey in that. And it's a cross between strong cider, mead, and, dare I say it, white wine. I really can't make my mind up about this. Oh, this has put me in a real quandary, this has. Because there's nice flavours in here, and there's not so nice flavours in here. And it's just completely messing with my head. Now, I've always said that Gers and Lambic is basically beer with all the rules thrown out. It's like the mad professor has got hold of the recipe book and just thrown it on its head. But I really can't make my mind up on this. Oh, there's definite honey notes. I'm getting that. There is sour apple that leaves a very dry, bitter sweet finish. And there's like oaky, woody flavours in there as well. But I think this is a little bit too off the wall for me. Put it this way, if you got this on tap, it would be just like that. It would look like that. If you got this on tap thinking it was a beer in the traditional English sense, you would take one mouthful of that and you'd hand it back and say, this is disgusting, this is off. But it's see, I'm trying to compare it to a Belgian Lambic, and it's just completely messed with my head. There certainly are elements of Lambic beer. That sourness is definitely there. but there's other flavours in there as well. That big, almost honey mead type flavour that's in there. The crisp, dry finish is like a white wine. Yeah, I have tried that when I've been slagging it off, they said to me, oh, try this one, this is different. It all tastes like dog shit. But I do remember the very dry finish. But this is quite acidic as well. And that honey is really dominating now. You can really get that. I'm trying to think what sort of honey. If you ever get a Gale's honey, I know it's not the most expensive honey, but if you ever sniff that, that's what you get from there. But there's also some sourness in there as well. Put it this way, it's okay-ish. I don't think I could drink a pint of it. It's just too off the wall. And there's good points and there's bad points in it. I really don't know. And if you try this isn't cheap, but if you do try this, you're either going to spit it out and say it's disgusting, or if you do like sour beer, it's going to confuse the crap out of you. So what is the verdict on Elgood's Coolship? Just mind completely blown. Not in a good way either. Yes, it's got the sour flavour. It's got a dominating honey without the sweetness, if you can imagine that. It's got the nice crisp finish that a Elgoods normally has. It's got the sharpness on there, but that honey on the aroma is just, I don't know, I really don't know. I really can't make my mind up on this. I think I'm probably going to drink about half a pint, and that's going to be it. If they did this in half pint bottles, I think that would be about right. I don't think I can drink a pint of this. But again, it doesn't taste too bad now. And it really is. It really does remind me of the first time I tried Elgoods in Belgium. I got that horrible flavour initially, and gradually, as I got more into it, I really started liking it. Oh Christ, what do I do? What do I do? I want to be completely honest, but I'm just not sure about this beer. It is good. I'm taking mouthfuls and thinking, no, this is bad beer, and then I take another mouthful. This is nice. This is not too bad. Put it this way, I wouldn't be forcing myself to drink it if I did drink it all, but this would be the only one I could drink. I think this is all right if you're having it with a meal, like fish and chips or something like that. That would go with that. But you definitely could not session that. I don't think so. I wouldn't. So I don't know what mark to give it. This is the first time in over a year I've just been stuck for a mark. Oh, what do I do? Because I don't want to be harsh on it, because there is good points, but I don't want to be praising it too much, because I know not a lot of people are going to like this. Right, just personal for me, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. But if you're interested in trying it, get it on Beers of Europe. If you like lambics, if you like sour beers, you may be okay with it. I would absolutely love to hear your opinion on this. See what you think. I can imagine it will be ranging from this is absolutely disgusting to I really like this. I drank a couple of bottles. But for me, it's one of them beers that I love it because they put an English slant on it. and they're one of the only brewers that do a sour beer in England. When I say they're one of the only brewers, you get craft brewers that are doing Gers and stuff like that, and other sour type beers, Berliner Weisses and stuff like that, but it's unique. I like they've called it an English sour beer, because that's what it is. It's got elements of the Gers in there. So I think 6.5 is a fair mark, but I want you to try it. I really do, because I'm interested in your opinion on it. For me, it's nice, it's okay. It wouldn't be the first sour beer that I go to, English sour beer. Certainly wouldn't be, I certainly wouldn't drink it in place of a Lambic, but I don't mind it. It's not the worst beer in the world. I just want to reiterate that it keeps on going round in my head that, is this good, is this bad? And it's got elements of both in it. But I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. But I'm definitely going to recommend it. I quite like it. I may even buy it again. I wish they would have done it in half-pint bottles though. And now it doesn't taste so bad. Oh, fucking hell. Elgoods, what have you done to me? I'm going to stick with 6.5, but it's a solid 6.5, and I don't want you to think that I'm doing it down. It's just, I'm trying to make my mind up on it. I may have to revisit this and try it again. Alright, so for now, 6.5 out of 10. I recommend it, and the only reason I'm recommending it is because I want to hear your opinion, what you think of it. So if you can get hold of it, or you live in the area around Wisbech or Cambridge, I don't know whether they do this on draft. I imagine it would go off quite quickly. There wouldn't be many people in the pub that would be regulars drinking that. But yeah, as I say, please try it. Please let me know. I really would be intrigued to see what you think about it. And remember, beer is working class champagne.